Thank you very much, and also very nice that you line out the research which you did in your early thesis, which then you proceeded very thoroughly throughout your career, combining neurotransmitter and neuropeptides understanding. And based on this research, what do you think are the most specific topics for mind for future research for the younger colleagues where to go there?
Well, it's of course very difficult. So much happens in the neuroscience, and you can do so many things nowadays with genetic manipulations of mice. But still, I think that the human brain, primate brain, has to be a target, because still, if you're interested in developing drugs, it is the human situation you want to have as a basis for development. We need to know how similar is the human brain to the rodent brains, where we do all these experiments and where we develop hypotheses and ideas. Are they valid for human, for drug development? So I hope that young people will continue that line of work that we are doing. I mean, we have also the whole imaging. You can look at the human brain, and I'm sure in the future you can, in a way, compare much better what we are doing in the microscope at the histochemical level with the real human systems.
Thank you very much. And you told us that you were lucky that you were connected to important researchers when you were young. And I think it's very important for young people to start their career properly. So what specific advice would you give early career colleagues when they start their research?
Well, I cannot look at Maya and give good advice, because I have just been lucky. So from the moment when Hillard joined our laboratory, he came to me, so to say, to Manic Goldstein offering his antibodies. So you have to find your way, your project. Sometimes it's just serendipity. Sometimes you may have an idea from the beginning. So my only advice is that once you have something that looks good, then you have to give 120, 150% of your capacity to the project, because it will always be some nice results if you just work hard enough. That's my experience, I must say. But to choose good collaborators, I mean, I have been so fortunate also later on, and I here have to mention Tibor Harkani, who is also a professor here at Karolinska, who shares office with me and has good financial opportunities. I must mention Matthias Ullén in the Science for Life laboratory, who has also big resources, financial resources. So I've been able to do single cell or RNA-seq studies on human tissues. And here we have been very fortunate to collaborate with Hungarian scientists like Miki Palkovic and Sofia Magloshi, and also with Naguib Meshavar in Montreal to get good human tissues for the studies.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is also very important when I look at careers of different colleagues, that you have to have a sense where the field is moving. And you told us at the beginning, you met these older senior colleagues, your mentors, and said, well, that's the way I go. And you basically didn't make the last medical exam, right? Because you thought, well, this is probably more important. And I appreciate very much that you say, well, give 120, 150. Probably you gave 200%, Thomas. Probably you did, right?
Yeah, it was a little bit too much.
All right. Okay.
My wife is saying.
All right, right. So this builds up a little bit what we discussed before. And you mentioned it before, it's probably redundant, but I still would like to ask you, which direction do you see the field moving to?
Yeah, well, I indicated that already a bit, but I hope that it will go for more integration, more interaction between the techniques. I mean, we have to remember that chemical neuroanatomy is the basis for all these new techniques, optogenetics and tracing, because they do it on chemically identified systems, neurons, single neurons, and to have them, you have to do chemical neuroanatomy. So I still think that chemical neuroanatomy, the histochemical approach, will be important for the future. But of course, combined with all other wonderful novel methods, and still I think we have to keep in our minds to pursue the human brain. It's at this moment just in the beginning. It's very difficult because the quality of the postmortem brains varies very much, and that is a huge problem to obtain reliable results.
Thank you very much, yes. And again, this question is a little redundant probably, but you are able to synthesize it also. The CINP members also are clinicians on the one hand side, on the other hand, basic scientists like yourself. But could you give any specific point which you would like to share with the CINP members, which will come to Montreal meeting next year? So what are your points for the CINP members, both neuroscience and clinicians, to use it for their patients?
Well, I mean, you cannot underestimate the significance of CINP and the other societies in this field. You know, I have attended that from early on, and as a basic scientist, I have listened to clinical scientists, and this combination to meet these people, the different categories at the meeting is fantastic. And I think these societies have been absolutely instrumental for the development in this field, in the field of neurology and psychiatry. So I can only say that go and attend from a young beginning, so that you from the very beginning understand what it means to be a clinician, what it means to have a mental disease, for example. That's a fantastic educational achievement that CINP has done.
Thank you very much, Professor Thomas Hökfelt. Once more, congratulations to the CINP Pioneer Award. So well received, and I see you're still very healthy, dynamic. I don't dare to say young, but in your spirit, you're still very young. And I wish you all the best and look forward meeting you in one of the future meetings. And dear colleagues, it's my great pleasure to announce also that you see on my slide background that the CINP Montreal meeting will be from the 7th to the 10th of May 2023, and symposium can be sent in from 2 weeks onwards. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Professor Siegfried, for making this interview. It has been a great pleasure for me and honor.